This is Allison Conway, and she has recently, Todd mentioned yesterday, she has recently written a book about her experience going through diagnosis. She's gotten really involved in providing services around this area for, well, actually even nationwide, it's heading. And we're fortunate to have her with us today. So I'd like you to just take a few minutes and listen to her. And she's got a table out there if you'd like to see her book after lunch or during the breaks. And so here's Allison.
Thank you guys. That's a lot of moving to us to that. Thank you very much for listening, guys. Do I know how to start my presentation? Just push it? Keep going? Yeah? Almost there? Just kidding. Technical difficulties, please hold.
Does that mean we have to move some more?
This is a test. If this were real, you would have your head between your knees.
This is the dramatic pause before this talk.
Yeah.
So I always like to start my talks off with a time for laughter. And I think that with the whole zombie apocalypse and all the vampire stuff out, this was very fitting. And then I just like this one because sometimes I actually do think about crying at my husband, but it would be very awkward. My name is Allison Conway, for those of you that don't know. I have been involved in the Parkinson's world now about 2 years. I was diagnosed with Parkinson's disease 2.5 years ago and got DBS 2 years ago. So it seems like such a dramatic, fast, quick decision that I made, but I had had symptoms since I was 29. So, which most of us tend to find out that looking back at it, we had symptoms for quite a while back. So, since my story tends to be a little bit long and drawn out, I'm going to give you the Cliff Notes version of my life. This is the fuzzy end of my lollipop. So, I was born on a beautiful warm day in June in 1977, and then when I was 13 years old, I was diagnosed with juvenile rheumatoid arthritis. And for people that don't know, when it's a juvenile onset, it goes very autoimmune. So I had been diagnosed with ulcerative colitis when I was 21 years old, and then it slowly turned over to colon cancer by the time I was 24. This is my first surgery of going through colon cancer. I was 192 pounds and very sick. I was in Arizona when I was diagnosed, and I was sent out to USC Norris Cancer Center for my first surgery, which they removed my full large intestine and left me with a colostomy bag. I was able to get the colostomy bag reversed. I went through 14 surgeries in 3 years and almost died twice by going septic. After I pulled myself out of that hole, I was able to live a somewhat normal life until I started noticing that I was getting a lot of slowness of movement and rigidity. I was diagnosed with Parkinson's disease at age 32, and you're probably wondering when the happy time comes into the speech. I'm getting there. So then I decided to go through deep brain stimulation surgery, which I know many of you out there have it or are thinking about it, and it was a great decision for me. So I know they're not the best, wonderful pictures, but I won't be submitting them to any modeling agencies soon. So this is me going through DBS. So in the process of going through deep brain stimulation surgery, I had my husband that was my rock going through this whole process. And this is a perfect joke because that is actually me leaping on him. I think that's a perfect analogy of what I do with my poor husband. Telling my husband I had Parkinson's disease was very difficult because I felt that I would be a burden, or that maybe he wouldn't love me the way that I would want him to, or that maybe I was less than I was before. Damaged goods. And so when I finally got the nerve to tell my husband says to me, a burden is something that is placed on you and not something that you choose. And this was such a monumental moment for me to realize that it didn't matter that I had Parkinson's disease. He was loving me for who I was, not what I had. So that was my aha moment. And it did look just like that. I I decided to take what had been given to me, my interesting life, and make it to something that was important to me and important to others. I felt like this whole adventure couldn't just be for nothing. It couldn't be something that I just crawled up into a ball and laid on the floor and called it a day. So I decided to think of what I could bring to the community in the form of support. So I created the idea of Parkinsons Inbalance. Parkinsons Inbalance is finding a health between your mental health and your physical health. So if we have an imbalance, like if we work too much and then we don't take care of ourselves, it can hurt our health or our marriage. So I'm a marital and family therapist as I went through school to get my education, but I'm also a certified personal trainer. So I thought, hey, we're going to wrap this all into one program. I started teaching fitness classes, and my program launched in October of 2010. And some of you, I think you're in here, can see yourself in this picture. And then there's the Incredible Hulk there in the very front row flexing for you. So this is our class at Crunch Fitness that meets every single week. And since I launched the program in October, we have 3 different fitness classes, a ballroom dancing class, 3 different support groups, a personal trainer that will come out to your house, and we have community events such as the Unity Barbecue next month. Here's some of our fitness classes and my model right there, PM. So everybody always asks me, what advice could you give to me with dealing with Parkinson's? And I think that this is the list that I've come up with. I know we hear so much about like all the medical advice, all the terms that we should be thinking about. This is what I think for myself that I found has been the best way to deal with it and give advice to other people. Create your game plan to slow the progression. Figure out what is your plan individually to slow the progression of this illness to where you can live the most appropriate, the most happiest, and the most quality of life that you can get. Form your PD wolf pack. And now when I talk about your wolf pack, I talk about the group of people that are going to surround you. Your friends, your family, your loved ones, your medical professionals, everybody that is on your team. So you're not just going to one person and draining them specifically. You can spread the wealth around of feeding people. So that's what I talk about with my PD Wolf Pack. And I do have some of my Wolf Pack members out there in the audience today, so I use them for my support too. Woo, there's a little blue over there.
Okay.
You will never be able to recreate the perfect day. As many of you guys know, you can have an awesome day and go, how do I do that exact same day? Because that was perfect. You can eat the same thing, wear the same clothes. It's not going to happen. Every day is different. So try to keep that in mind that if you have a bad day and it just seems like everything's going wrong and all your symptoms are all out of whack and your PD's being a diva, understand that the next day might be a little bit better and it will pass and each day will get a little easier and some days will be bad. But just keep that in mind. Exercise, exercise, exercise. I can't explain that enough because I feel that if doctors were to say to you, I have this magic little pill, Allison, and it will slow the progression of your illness. You just have to take it every day. How many people would take that pill? How many people are good liars? Everybody would be taking that pill. Well, let me tell you, that pill is exercise. It will slow the progression of your illness down and help you feel better and keep away those gray clouds. 3 times a day, practice stretching and balancing. That could be as easy as standing with your chair, watching television, doing flamingo leg. Moving your grocery cart down the grocery line and staggering your legs and trying to balance in a straight position. You have your chair, you have your grocery cart for extra support. Challenge yourself 3 days a week. Don't, 3 times a day. Don't worry about if other people are looking at you because that's the least thing that you need to worry about. We spend so much energy of worrying about what other people are thinking about us when we really need to focus on ourselves. Beware of the monkey arms. When I talk about monkey arms, we talk about our arms being in front. That's the number one thing that I see when people come in with balance issues is they're walking over, hunched over with their arms in front. Try to keep those shoulders back to where your arms are on your side. It will make a significant difference in your posture and also in the way that you feel. Time is precious. Who and what gets your attention? If you guys were not important to me, I'm sorry to say I wouldn't be here today. So I choose what's important and I choose who I want to invest my time and energy into. If you have a negative attitude and you're just down in the dumps all day long, I'm not going to spend time around you because my time is very limited when I'm on and I'm working and everything feels great, and I'm not going to give you that time unless I feel that you're important. Give yourself a break. Celebrate daily successes. Davis Finney is definitely one of my idols, and we have one of our ladies from the Davis Finney Foundation from Boulder, Colorado. And they have taught me a lot about celebrating every single day I find something I'm grateful for. So with that said, I'm interested to see if you guys would be able to take a 30-day grateful challenge. And what you would do for 30 days is write 5 things down every single night what you're grateful for 30 days straight. And I'm curious to see if you could come up with quite a bit more things that you didn't really actually think about that you are grateful for. So take the time to look at your life in a positive manner. And last but not least, everybody says, write a book, Allison, you've got so much to say. So here's the book. I actually wrote it in 8 weeks. It was just like journaling. It all came out of me, which I think it was definitely the time for it to come out. So I'm hoping that it can give somebody some inspiration and some encouragement to keep trying to move forward, fight the illness, and don't let it take over your life. So find opportunities that you guys can come together such as this and be stronger in numbers. Because the more that we come together, the stronger we can be as a community together. Now a word from our sponsors. Thank you guys very much for your time, and thanks so much for having me out today.